Isaiah,
Hey,
how are you?
good. How's it going?
Going great. To start, I love how this show, gives us the typical cop show that we've kind of always found a comfort in, weirdly enough, but it also questions both our love of cop shows as well as the system itself throughout the series. For you, what was the most important part of joining a show like that and making sure that those elements were part of your character when you guys were kind of figuring out who he was?
I really left a lot of the characterization and just building of the character up to I left it to Ben Watkins and his staff of writers. They just wrote such a good character. It was hard for me not to bring certain elements with the words they were writing and the situations they were putting him in and the heart that they gave him. They really gave this character a lot of heart because he's looking after his friend in a really tough situation. Because of the way they created this character, it wasn't hard at all to wrap my mind around how somebody could be so compassionate, especially to his best friend. Now, you don't normally see that in two detectives, but these guys grew up together. They came up in the same household. They joined the force together, so they know each other intimately. Like they're very like what mind meld. I was thinking of the Star Trek term, but they know each other. Ben has said before, like this is a love story, truly not romantically, but between two friends, this is a love story of two African American men that are looking out for each other.
Yeah, and on that same thing, I know it's so boring to ask actors like, "What did you guys do to bond?" But the bond between those two characters is so important in a series like this because not only do we have to believe that they care enough about each other to be like with each other through thick and thin, but they
Mm-hmm.
have that lifelong friendship. When you were working with Aldous, how did you guys kind of figure like map out the beats in their friendship so then you guys could just go back to it when you needed to make it more real for the audience?
It's not something we ever talked about. We basically just one of the first times we ever like hung out was with our producer, our creator Ben Watkins, Blaze Watkins, Umar White, and we were all at the production office together, and we had this moment where we were talking about life. Like we didn't know, like I didn't know we were going to talk about when we got together. I assumed we were going to talk about the show, but the show never came up. The characters never came up. We just talked about life. And in that moment, we were laughing about things. We were talking about, I mean, and everything from critical thinking to who was going to win, the NBA championship, just different things, whatever it was. We were just talking about it. And also talking about what it was like to be, a father, what it was like to be, a son and brother in a situation. So I think because we had that dialogue, we were able to form these bonds like between not only between Aldous and myself, but also between like us and Ben, that we trusted him, that he was going to take our characters in the direction that would truly give people a display of all these emotions.
Yeah, and for my last question, I do want to ask when you have a show like this that does have not only is it just like a new cop show for us to dig our teeth in, but it also has that underlying mystery that we're trying to figure out. For you, what is the most exciting part now that it's coming out in audiences? You're going to get to dive into that and kind of start unpacking that side of it.
I'm really excited for people to see the serial killer, and I won't give any spoilers, but to see the way in which he moves and operates throughout this world that he's created, you get to see a little bit of his backstory. You get to know kind of why he's taking this dark path a little bit, but you really get to see how he becomes or how he thinks and why he thinks the way he does and why it is he kills the way he kills. I'm really excited for people to see that because I don't think you get a full, fleshed out serial killer. You don't get into their minds that often on TV shows. You get to see like the end result, and then them get caught. Maybe one thing, two things, but this is like you get the whole version of him.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for them to see that, and especially the way that our actor portrays him. Creepy. It's just so creepy.
I 100% agree. I can't wait for everyone to get to see it. And thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you.